But he said, AI shouldn't be artificial intelligence, it should be amplified intelligence. And the reason I loved it is because, in a way, the crazy thing about AI, it's the first time in history, I think, that humanity built a tool that's smarter than humans. This never happened before, right? Like when the camera was invented, people know how a camera is built and how it works. We are today at a point where the most advanced models, if you would ask the best AI scientist or data scientist in the world how it operates, he wouldn't know how to tell you that because it's smarter than him. So this is like a new thing, right? So this is also why it's very scary, right? People say, what if it takes over us because it's smarter? But at the end of the day, as long as we frame it as a good tool, which we hopefully will, and it won't go to bad areas. And I have to say, I always say, when we do content or music, it's not brain science and it's not medical and everything's okay. The worst thing that can happen is, like, I don't know, a flying dragon with a tattoo and purple fire around it. That's the worst thing that can happen, right? It's not like it's going to
Could be
affect
the best
people's
thing that
lives.
happened too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not, I'm just trying to say it's lightweight compared to other industries where it could be impactful in, when it comes to military, for example, nobody knows where it can go. It can go into crazy places. But the reason I like amplified intelligence, because it's still in our hands to operate it, at least today. I don't know what the future brings. And if you can direct it, and this is exactly where intuition and concept becomes the most two important things. Because if you have a great concept and a good intuition and you can use AI to amplify your intelligence, you would get a hyper result, right? If you don't have good concept and then you don't have good intuition, you won't use this amplification that well, and it would maybe do something very basic, right? Or very, just enhance it a little bit. And I think that's a very interesting way of looking at it, right? And just like you said, even on ChatGPT, I found my ways of building this structure to work with it and help me better, right? So when I work inside those structures, I actually get so much better result, and it would actually take me forward. Sometimes things that used to take me months now take me a minute, right? And I think, again, if you do it right, it amplifies what you do and it puts you in a new spot or like the next step so much quicker that you're able to look at the next steps ahead. So it's really interesting. It could be a lot of fun. And again, I'll be honest and say, some days I wake up very excited and some days I wake up scared. I'm saying, like, what if it replace everything eventually? Everybody has that question, right? And again, I think it is a different revolution. It's not like anything that we saw before because it is smarter than us eventually, right? And it holds all this data about everything, and it's so clever, and it has so many dots it can connect that we as a human being could never connect. And the pace of changes is so quick that sometimes it's just overwhelming. But at the end of the day, I think it's like tidal waves, like you get scared for a second, it overloads you a little bit, and then it flows back in. And I think in a year or two, I think first of all, people will stop saying AI, because it's just like people don't say, I have a chip in my phone, right? Like, chips used to be a big thing, like when chips were invented or CPU units were invented, that was a big thing. But nobody tells you, hey, I have my CPU with me, right? It's not even a term that normal people use. I think it's probably the most said out word in the world at this point, right? Probably the word AI is being said millions of times a minute at this point. But in a few, probably year or two, at the pace of things, it will just become a commodity. Of course, everything is amplified, right? So it would probably also calm down and people will also know better how to use it, how to integrate it. That being said, of course, there are parts of different occupations that might disappear because nobody needs to do that anymore, So
Yeah, we have to go into this with our eyes open for sure.
yeah.